Out Park as we are getting set for this rubber match game between Kentucky and Georgia. First pitch on the way from Bosma, swinging and grounding it into right field for a leadoff single for Ben Anderson. Has been on base safely, Lance, in now 22 straight games to start the season.
Well, just what we talked about. I mean, you need that your big guy to get out there and jump on there, and he sure did. And first pitch of the game, you're not trying to get that get me over fastball, gets him.
Anderson now 5 for 11 in this series. As Josh McAllister, normally playing second base, has moved over to the shortstop position with the absence of Cole Tate. And chases the first pitch down from Bosma for strike one. McAllister out of Cumming, Georgia. Redshirt senior, batting .301 this season. Hit a two-run bomb over the left field wall in game one of this series. Chases another one down to the zone, 0-2.
That's the tough part of the game when the guy swings first pitch. You're trying to feel the game out. You're trying to set yourself up, even set up the hitter. He jumps on first pitch, which you're trying to throw a strike, and all of a sudden now you got a runner on first. But you see right here, he's starting to settle in, getting ahead 0-2.
Almost chased another one. Did he go around? He did not. Held up his swing. So 1 ball and 2 strikes. Now to Josh McAllister.
You can see right now how Bosma's going to attack those right-handed hitters. It's going to be fastballs, but breaking balls right into the back foot of those hitters. Yeah, that's the problem about when you get in a jam early. Is you're going to show the lineup. Hey, look, this is this is the pitch that I feel best with. This is the pitch I feel most comfortable with, and how I'm going to attack all the hitters, especially the right side.
McAllister was 3 for 6 in the game yesterday with a pair of doubles. 1-2. That's low. Count evens 2 balls and 2 strikes. Got to see the workings of likely first-rounder Jonathan Cannon for Georgia in game one. He went 7 strong in innings, struck out 6. Again, didn't walk a batter in that game. Foul tipped and into the mitt of the catcher, Alonzo Rubalcaba, for out number 1. There's Ryan Ritter, star shortstop for Kentucky, likely first-rounder as well. Chase Estep over at third base has been fantastic, not only defensively, but also offensively to start the year. Jonathan Thrasher out in center field. The transfer from Hartford was the player of the year in the America East Conference last season. So McAllister still over there at first base. Anderson, and that'll bring up the 3-hole hitter and Corey Collins, who can leave the yard in a hurry this year with 7 home runs.
Collins was a guy that last year, the numbers were okay. They thought they really took a big step early this year. You're seeing the conference numbers have dropped, and that's the point where the .316 average is there, the home runs are there, but in the 5 conference games, it's not, and it's only 2 hits.
Skies this one out to left field. Kirk Liebert under it for out number 2. So Georgia took the first series of the season against the reigning national champs, Mississippi State. It was an impressive start to the year. Series split here. You see some of the numbers in the SEC. And look, this is not a Georgia team, Lance, that is going to hit a ton of home runs this year. They're also not going to hit a ton of extra base hits. So runs are at a premium for Georgia this year.
Oh, you're right, Rabbi. I mean, it's a team that's built on starting pitching, bullpen, and defense. I mean, the lineup, they were okay last year. Like I said, that was the shortfall, is just it didn't score enough runs. Getting almost every single person back, they felt like it would be better, and guys are just a little bit more mature. One more year into the system, into the SEC, they're going to score some more runs. So they still feel that way. Obviously, you can feel that way, and when it comes down to making it happen, you got to do it. But, The pitching is not probably going to be as good as they thought it was, just because of the amount of injuries that have started to build up in the Georgia Bulldog bullpen.
No balls and 2 strikes to Connor Tate. Lays off one in the zone. Runner takes off. Throw down to second off the glove of Ritter. Or excuse me, that was the second baseman Felker over there to cover. So in there safely is Ben Anderson. Heads up base running there.
Yeah, heads up base running. The ball, it wasn't down. He saw down angle and took off, and just not able to make the play right there. But that's a good read right there, just to kind of get in the scoring position, especially with 2 outs. Now's the time you get that 2-strike, 2-out hit, get yourself on the board.
It is ruled a stolen base. So Connor Tate with 20 RBIs on the season already. Looking for another one here. 1-2 pitch. Ground ball towards third base. Charging his E-step across the diamond and in time. So Tyler Bosma able to get out of the jam there, stranding a runner in scoring position. Kentucky coming up to bat here in the bottom of the first. All right, bottom of the first we go. Number 17, Georgia and Kentucky here in Lexington. Head coach Nick Mingione has done a solid job now in his 6th season at the helm. He's named the head coach of this program back in 2016. He's had a big impact on the program over the last 5 years. Here is his lineup today. Hunter Jump, Chase Estep, Ryan Ritter, their top 3 and 4, and Jacob Plastiak so crucial to this offense. And Estep, like we said, has been just on fire to start the year. Top 5 in the SEC in batting average, slugging, on-base percentage, hits, runs, you name it. He's near the top or at the top for Kentucky. They will try to get their runs off of Bryce Malier, the sophomore making his first start of the season, Lance.
Yeah, first SEC appearance. This is a guy that is trying to build on the latest success that he's had. Coaches talked about, like, you'd see something, and then all of a sudden 2 or 3 outings in the fall, in the pre-spring, it just wouldn't be there. So inconsistent stuff, but if he's got it, he's got it. And that's what you see right there. 5 innings, the 10 punch-outs, only 1 walk. And so if he can bring that out there, you're looking for probably 3 innings at most out of him, and then it becomes a bullpen game for the Bulldogs.
Talked about it, too. There was been some injuries to this Georgia Bulldog pitching staff, so it's not like they're in any sort of trouble, but they are a little bit light down there in the bullpen. So Hunter Jump will get it started for Kentucky. Graduate player out of Aliso Viejo, California, the transfer from Arizona State. First pitch is outside for ball 1. Jump kind of began the year in the 2 spot in the lineup for Kentucky. Moved into the cleanup role after first couple of games, now hitting leadoff, hit leadoff yesterday. And he swings and lines one into center field for a leadoff single. So both teams able to get the leadoff man on in the first innings. Look at the Georgia defense. Josh McAllister, we talked about, has moved over to short. Corey Acton playing second base today. Like we said, Buddy Floyd getting his first start over at third base. Ben Anderson out in center. Fernando Gonzalez doing the catching. So here is Chase Estep. Bats from the left-hand side, and a batting average over 400 this season, Lance. Ridiculous start this year. Was named the National Player of the Week by a couple of the publications in college baseball. Had a 17-game hit streak come to an end against Arkansas last weekend.
Yeah, I think the biggest thing for Chase, he's wanting to be able to show that, look, I'm not just a hitter non-conference. I can bring those into the conference play, hitting 143 coming into the weekend. So that's something that he wants to change up. And it just comes down to just relaxing, not trying to do too much, especially when the games matter the most.
2 balls, 1 strike, and it's outside. So hitters count 3 balls, 1 strike to Chase Estep. Went 1 for 4 yesterday. Scored 2 runs. It's 2 for 8 in the series, though, and that pitch misses outside for a walk. So now runners on first and second. You see the numbers for Estep there. Just a terrific start for the 2-hole hitter for Kentucky, and that'll bring up Ryan Ritter, preseason 3rd-team All-America by D1 Baseball. Preseason All-SEC 2nd team by the league's head coaches this year. We know he can flash the glove, and his coach, Nick Mingione, Lance, said that he is the best shortstop he has ever seen.
You talk about high praises. I mean, he said it, and he's like, look, there is no question. It's not just ever. I mean, he's like the best I've ever seen. And obviously he gets to play and see a lot of that stuff on turf. But, I mean, still, his glove, it plays everywhere. It doesn't matter what surface you're playing on. But right now, though, this is a guy that's opposite. He's hitting .316 in conference. So right now you got your guy you want up right here with 2 guys on, trying to get that early lead.
Yeah, keep in mind, Mingione's been in the SEC for a while. I mean, he spent 8 seasons at Mississippi State as an assistant. He has seen some of the best shortstops to have ever played in the SEC, whether it be Dansby Swanson or an Alex Bregman. So that is serious praise for Ryan Ritter. And he lines one up the third base line, caught on the fly by Buddy Floyd.
Well, what do they always say, right? It finds you. Buddy Floyd getting his first start at third base. Hot shot in the first inning. But I like how he said that, Sam. It's the fact that, like you said, it's not that I've ever coached. It's that I've ever seen on the field right there. And you mentioned some high praises with those guys. You're talking first picks of the draft. And so, heck, I'm not obviously thinking he doesn't have the bat to be the first pick or probably that high of a pick in the first round, but still fun to watch.
So a crucial first out for Bryce Malier, and he will face Jacob Plastiak. Batting in the cleanup spot, and an off-speed pitch in there for a called strike 1.
Well, sometimes that's what it takes, just to kind of settle you down a little bit. A line drive out. Now, they always preach you're 1 pitch away. He's got 11 pitches so far in the first inning, especially we talked about probably only going to see 3 innings at most. And so getting him a nice rollover double play might be good for him.
Balls and 2 strikes to Plastiak, now in his 2nd season with the Wildcats this year. Began his career at Wichita State. Went to Wabash Valley Community College in Illinois before coming to Lexington prior to last season. Leads the team 25 RBIs, trying to get Kentucky on the board first here. And he deposits 1 foul out of play. Malier set with the 0-2. Up in the zone. Plastiak holds off. So this is a very new look Kentucky team. This year, things feel a little bit different, Lance. 8 Division I transfers on this team, and a lot of them play meaningful minutes for Kentucky and Nick Mingione.
Yeah, I mean, you brought in 4 guys, position players, over 2,100 at-bats total. So you're not just bringing in guys that, hey, they've been in college baseball. No, these guys have played a lot of innings, and so they've been through some of the wars, no matter where they've come from. The war's the war. I don't care who you are. And obviously, it raises up a little bit in the SEC, but still, guys that have that kind of experience, it always feels a little bit better. I mean, we've already seen it on the mound with Bosman. He's one of those big-time transfers as well.
So Hunter jump on second, Estep on first, 1 gone here in the bottom of the first. And a curveball up in the zone is fouled back out of play.
It's a good at bat right here by Plastiak. Just started off 0-2, fouled off a couple. He laid off, I thought, a really good fastball up. You can see the catcher Gonzalez, he liked where it was spotted. So laying off that, now fighting back to 2-2, see what he can do with it.
Jump was dancing over there at second, caused the attention of Malier. This Kentucky Wildcats team picked up their first SEC victory yesterday over Georgia. Now trying to pick up their first series win. Plastiak battling at the dish.
Well, you can see every pitch now, that swing gets a little bit closer to the ball. I mean, that's foul straight back. A lot of hitters think when they foul that straight back, they're right on it. So you saw balls that were fouled really far to the left side, and now he's getting a little bit closer to timing it up.
Two-two. Lifted out to left field, fairly deep. Connor Tate on the warning track makes the catch. Hunter Jump will tag from second, and he will be at third standing. So 2 gone here in the bottom of the first. Runners on the corners as Plastiak moves Jump over. We talked a little bit about these transfers, and you're right, Lance. A lot of them have made impacts. Coach Mingione was talking about Daniel Harris coming over from Eastern Kentucky. He has been a boost when he has gotten the opportunity. Tyler Guilfoyle, the right-hander pitcher out of Lipscomb, he has been solid with a sub-2 ERA this year.
Yeah, Williams started yesterday. He's got a .4 ERA. He's only given up 1 run. Guilfoyle came in, got the save, and you got Bosman. I mean, that's 4 guys that have brought in over 368 innings too. So I mean, it's the same thing. They really found a need, or they had a need. They went and found it to fill it, and they got guys that, again, experience, because that's what's going to play. I mean, a lot of times you get out there and you see there, and guys, young guys just don't. Some will do it, but then all of a sudden you're like, man, I thought you were going to do it, and they just didn't. But the older guys tend to do it a little bit more often.
Kirk Liebert fouls one off the end of the bat. Liebert.
Yeah, it was that first changeup we've seen by Malier. You see him out in front a little bit, 80 miles an hour. He's been 88 to 89 on the fastball, so about 8 to 9 mile an hour difference on the changeup.
Liebert, senior from Kentucky, Davies County High School. This is where Kentucky has struggled a little bit in the series. Just 3 2-out hits. They are 3 for 19 with 2 outs. Again, runners on the corners, and a pitch outside, 2-1. Hunter Jump started off the inning with a single. Estep walked. He's at first.
Yeah, Estep's a guy with 7 stolen bases, 7 for 9, but right now with that left-hander up, first baseman's having to hold him on. He's going to probably stay there to create that big hole.
A check swing, he went around for strike 2.
Man, Sam, that's a big call right there. That's a 3-1 pitch. All of a sudden now it's a 2-2. So that's a 3-1. You're sitting, all right, I got dead red fastball. Now 2-2. Now you're having a battle. It's the difference of being able to hold up that swing.
So Chase Estep just kind of stole second without anybody noticing. Not even a flinch from Malier. So now Kentucky with runners on second and third, 2 outs. And Malier misses outside, full count to Kirk Liebert. How things can change in a hurry.
Yeah, you got an open base right here, but, man, you got to trust your best fastball and down and away. Make him hit it. You know, you want to see him try to pull it, so you just go down and away. Trust it. Just challenge the guy.
Full count, 2 outs, 2 runners in scoring position, and the pitch is down. Liebert lays off. And the bases are loaded for the Wildcats.
Yeah, you never want to see 2 out walks, extend those innings. I mean, the pitch count's already at 24. Bulldogs struggled on Sunday last week to a 20-3 loss. They had 13 walks, and so that's something you don't want to see early in the first inning for Georgia staff.
Kentucky with the bases of Cats. The catcher, number 9, Alonzo Rubalcaba.
That'll bring up Alonzo Rubalcaba, the senior out of Fairfield, California, with the bases loaded. The walks were aplenty in Game 2 for Kentucky yesterday. Put up a couple of runs in the 5th inning.
You know, biggest thing right now, Ravi, is he's just not getting ahead. Not enough first pitch strikes, but still, no matter all this noise that's going on around you, and that's the whole part of the game, speeding up, that heart rate's probably racing, it's still 0-0. You make this pitch, you get out of the jam. Yes, you didn't want to throw 20-something pitches, but when the bottom line that comes down, you got to put up a 0, and if he can get out right here, he does.
Only one first pitch strike for Malier here to start off his day. Rubalcaba out to left field, going back at the wall, and it's gone! Now those 2 walks came back to hurt Malier. First earned runs he's given up all year. Here's Jace Felker lining one into right field with a double, 2 runs and an RBI. Batted .241 on the year. And Crisp deals 1-0 is low.
Yeah, number one thing you got to do coming out of the bullpen, and I know it's tough when you're all of a sudden down, got runners on, but you got to be able to come in throwing strikes and being able to establish the strike zone, because when the starters get knocked out early, obviously he hasn't established the strike zone for you. Most likely hasn't even established the inside part of the plate.
Ball gets away from Parks Harbor over there at first. Up to second goes Felker. So not the start that the Georgia Bulldogs were hoping for here, Lance.
Yeah, you're right, man. That's right at it. That's just ball right through the wickets, and play you got to be able to make. But Kentucky's just taking advantage of every opportunity they can. And again, on a Sunday when the bullpens are probably going to be taxed very hard, and you're going to go to them pretty quick, every run's going to count.
Crisp gets a called strike on the outside corner. And 2 strikes on Fogle now.
Yeah, Georgia's having a little deja vu where they have 19 unanswered runs from Mississippi State score on them on Sunday, and now they got 4 more.
I think that's going to be a challenge for Scott Strickland. Whether he had all of the pitchers or not, who was going to go on Sunday was kind of always a question mark coming into this year. We talk a ton about Jonathan Cannon, and rightfully so, and Jaden Woods out of the bullpen. But kind of, where do you go after that for some consistency? 2-2. Popped up for towards short. McAllister under it and makes the catch. Running out to left field. A knock before Alonzo Rubalcaba. Doing some yard work here in the bottom of the first inning. A grand slam puts Kentucky up 4-0. Welcome back, Kentucky Proud Park in Lexington, Kentucky. Rubber match game between Kentucky and Georgia here on this Sunday afternoon. Kentucky taking the 4-0 lead after the grand slam from Alonzo Rubalcaba in the bottom of the first inning. Corey Acton will start it off for Georgia here in the second. Tyler Bosma starts him off with a couple of strikes.
Yeah, that's exactly what you want to see after a 4-run first inning. You want to come back out there and just throwing strikes with the fastball, and that's 5 for 5 so far, first pitch strikes. And again, just continue to trust your fastball. I mean, the big man's got a tough angle. I mean, if he's throwing down angle, it's tough for those hitters to square that ball up. So just trust the fastball, keep it away from him, see what happens.
Corey Acton transferred in from Florida, SEC foe of Georgia. Played his first 3 seasons in Gainesville. Came in and started 58 of the 60 games as a freshman for the Gators. Last year saw his playing time limited a bit. Florida lost quite a few players after losing their regional. Full count. Just a bit inside. And Corey Acton works a walk.
Well, Ravi, I don't know about this. This is just a 3-2 fastball. Looks about belt high. That seems to be the pitch that's just not getting called this year. You know, I know the umpires, they're getting the TrackMan data and everything that they really are kind of holding them accountable and giving that feedback, which everybody needs. But when also, you know, because basically guys were getting too far off the plate, so now you're kind of shrinking the plate a little bit or making the ball go over the plate, which is understandable, but not calling the high strike, which a lot of times that's tough, is because guys have their zone for the, you know, for their whole lives they've been calling the same zone. But right there, that just looks like a fastball that I don't think the hitter would complain or anybody else would complain if that's called a strike.
Parks Harbor chases that one down 0-2 to the sophomore. And yeah, we had lengthy conversations with both coaches, but especially with Coach Strickland for Georgia. He said not only has he had to have a conversation with his pitchers, but also with his catchers, whether it be Gonzalez back there or Corey Collins. You know, because a lot of those guys like to, you know, set up outside. And he was talking, you can't really do that anymore. You got to set up down the middle and move the glove around if you're going to do that. Oh, 2 to Harbor. Swings and drives one out to center field. Wind blowing from left to right today as Thrasher is out there to record out number 1. Corey Acton will stay put at first. I also think, too, that's one of the reasons, there are, I'm sure, a couple, but one of the reasons why we've seen some scores around college baseball that have been, I mean, seriously elevated. We were just talking about the 20-run game Mississippi State put up on this Georgia team last week, but all across college baseball, you're seeing some gaudy offensive numbers.
I think the biggest thing is when you make, obviously you want to make the pitchers throw strikes, but when a hitter can just truly lock in on certain zones and really give up the fastballs up, you don't have to worry about that. And then even sometimes the low pitch, if you got an umpire that won't give you that low pitch, man, it really makes the strike zone small for that pitcher, and you get a patient hitting team, and they can sit on balls, they know what to do, and they'll start spraying the ball around like we're seeing right here.
Janie Rogers, the single out to right. Acton goes first to third, and Georgia's in business here in the top of the second inning. That will bring up the catcher for the Bulldogs in Fernando Gonzalez. This is where Georgia could really use some productivity, the bottom of their order. Fernando Gonzalez batting .243 this year. Did not play yesterday. Played in game 1 and caught Jonathan Cannon. So got some rest. And back starting behind the dish today.
Well, when you look at the stats, you know, the hitting stats, and you just mentioned he caught Jonathan Cannon. I bet he's in there for the defensive prowess, especially when Cannon's on the mound. It might be who he wants to see behind the dish.
And Gonzalez grounds one over to second. Felker fields, tosses to Ritter over to first. Double play. A job well done, and exactly how Kentucky and Tyler Bosma drew it up. Little 4-6-3 LC.
Yeah, that's what you're talking about. One pitch away. Bosma gets that pitch down. 4-6-3 to end it. Still 4-0 in Lexington.
Beautiful Lexington, Kentucky. Kentucky Proud Park. Beautiful new renovations done the last couple of years. Bottom of the second we go. Difference in the game has been Alonzo Rubalcaba's grand slam in the bottom of the first. And a 9-hole hitter, John Thrasher, will start it off. Kentucky sent 8 batters to the plate in the first inning. Thrasher loses the bat there on the swing. Flies over to the Kentucky dugout. Now it's an early game, Lance. That'll keep you awake.
Yeah, that's a heck of a toss, but even better than the toss was the pitch. Nolan Crisp, the fastball in. Look at that, right at the knees, painted. And you're right, that's a weapon flying in almost into the stands, but still, beautiful pitch right there by Crisp.
So, Bryce Malier got the start for Georgia. He didn't make it out of the first inning. Nolan Crisp had to come in and get the final out of the first. Gets a strikeout here to start off the second, and back to the top of the order for Kentucky and Hunter Jump, who singled and then came around to score on the grand slam. I'll talk a little more about this Kentucky team, Lance, especially offensively. They have been able to produce runs this year. They're averaging just under 8 runs a game. The issue is they are also allowing about 6 runs a game. So that's kind of been the stressor for Nick Mingione and Kentucky in the early parts of this year.
Yeah, and it's really ramped up when it's come into conference play. The defense has started to struggle. They have 10 errors in their 5 games. We just saw a nice double play to end that inning, so maybe that'll be picked up a little bit. But, again, this 4-run start is going to help out a lot of those numbers. But you're right, it come down. It's going to all matter with who gets the best pitching on Sunday. That's usually when it comes to SEC baseball, you can take it all the way back to the mid-'90s. Whoever gets the best pitching on Sunday usually wins.
Here's Chase Estep. We'll see how long Nolan Crisp will go for Georgia here. That was ruled a single for Hunter Jump. And the pitch in there for a called strike.
Right, there's a nice back, looked like a backdoor slider. He gets that, strike one. I thought the pitch to Jump, his first pitch was a strike, but umpire Tyler Simpson didn't call it. And that really, to me, changed the whole at bat because he fell behind 2-0, and then anytime you fall behind 2-0 to a good hitter, something's good. Nothing's good's going to happen.
Yeah, Chase Estep has been a great hitter this year. 37 hits, good for second in the conference. And I thought it was an interesting conversation we had with Nick Mingione about Chase Estep. He said that he changed his body, changed the way he thought about the game of baseball, changed his preparation, and that has made all the difference.
And you love to see when a guy does all that, because too many times you see guys do that and then nothing happens and then they don't believe in it. Well, when all of a sudden you change your body, you change your diet, you change your workout habits, your sleep habits, and then your numbers start jumping, and you could go, well, I can see why it's happened. So it makes him buy in, but also helps his teammates buy in, because Coach Mingione talked about he's very, forward with, hey, this is what I needed to do. This is what you guys should do too. So you love that from a leader.
Yeah, Estep hit .252 last year. Batting average has just jumped off the page this year, just above 400. As he rolls one over towards second, could be 2. Acton to McAllister, and the throw down the line and out of play. So McAllister sails the throw a little bit, and already the second error in the game, Lance, for the Georgia defense.
Yeah, you see that ball that's too slow of a ground ball. You go forward to The toss is a little slow, and man, look how fast he stepped. We mentioned he's already got 7 stolen bases, so you know the guy can run. And so you see McAllister had to rush the throw, and all of a sudden he gets that turn and looks and goes, oh, he's almost there. But you're right, that error puts a guy in the scoring position now with 2 outs.
And the ever so dangerous Ryan Ritter talked about his defensive skills. Offensively has kind of clicked it up a notch this year. Takes a called strike. Yeah, here's what Ritter's head coach said about him. He said he saw guys like Dansby Swanson, Bregman in college. He said they're obviously better offensively, but I think he's better defensively. I think he's that good of a shortstop.
You know, you kind of can put that to like that pitcher like a Jonathan Cannon, where, you know, Coach Strickland can kind of sit back and go, all right, man, go pitch your game. I'll talk to you in the 6th or 7th. You know, for Ritter right there, you sit back and you go, as, you know, ball's up the middle, and you kind of get excited, like, all right, let's see what's going to happen, because you know he's going to make an outstanding play. So you see right there, he's got the pop. I mean, we're seeing the average in the 300s right now, so that's all you would want. But this is the part we talk about, man. Spectacular, full extension, and look how easy. He does no rush. A little pirouette right there, and showcases the arm when he needs it, huh?
So smooth.
I love the fact that when he dove and he stood up, there was just no rush in the throw, because he knew, like, I got time.
And Ritter began his career in junior college. Came over to Lexington. The bat wasn't necessarily there, but Coach Mingione saw the glove and how he could flash it all around the infield. One ball, 2 strikes. Lays off that one.
Here, Rabbi, I think you're going to start seeing more junior college players and guys willing to go JUCO route because of the draft and follow being instituted back in there. And so a lot like what Ritter did, Jalen Battles from Arkansas, those guys that, you know, go to junior college, put up good numbers, and decide, hey, like, all right, that draft wasn't good enough, I'll go to college.
Boy, has it paid off. Top 25 college draft prospect, according to our friends at D1 Baseball, coming into this season. He's got a runner on second, 2 gone, 3-2 pitch is outside. And Ritter does well to work a walk there.
And that's going to be a part of his game that will help him at the next level, being able to lay off that 3-2 breaking ball. A lot of times guys get anxious with 3-2, runners in scoring position. They want to be the guy that drives them in. But if the pitcher's not going to give you anything to hit, man, you got to trust your lineup and the guy behind you to be able to protect you and be able to lay off that pitch. That was well done.
So Georgia does have a left-hander up in the bullpen right now, as Nolan Crisp did not start this game. Keep in mind, came in the first inning to relieve Bryce Malier. And his pitch count up to 25 now. Trying to work out of some traffic on the base path here.
Take your best swing.
Yeah, Chris' problem right now, just can't get the secondary stuff over. The fastball's been good. You see right there, Plastiak swung through the first one. It's just not being able to get that secondary pitch over, so he's kind of having to live and die with his fastball.
So it's E-Step on second, Ritter on first. Plastiak takes high, flat out to left field in his first at bat.
What you got is speed all over the base paths. Ball in the gap right here with 2 outs for sure. It's going to get 2 in. Ritter's going to be moving from first base.
2-1, swung on and missed. Good pitch from Crisp, just below the knees there.
And you want him to be able to bring in that secondary pitch, but right now you got to go with what you have best because you don't want to fall behind 3-2 on a breaking ball or a changeup that you can't throw for a strike. So just spot the fastball up well right here and see if you can get that out.
Plastiak strikeout prone this year as he grounds one foul, leads the conference with 37 strikeouts in 96 at-bats. That's a 38% strikeout rate. He's going to want to bring that down. But coming with that comes with the power. 6 home runs on the year and 6 doubles. So kind of pick your poison.
Yeah, if you're going to strike out that much, you better be able to drive the ball out of the park. If not, you're going to see yourself not in the lineup.
Jumped out of the gate, did Plastiak. 3 home runs in the first 6 games of the year. Does have 8 multi-hit games this season. 0 for 5 in the series, and he lines one out to left center field. And this is going to drop in front of Anderson. Estep will score. And Kentucky takes a 5-0 lead on the RBI single from Plastiak.
Yeah, it looks like Anderson just doesn't see the ball off the bat very well because you see he kind of peels away from it.
Lance, that almost looked like miscommunication, or who was going to go for that, whether Tate or Anderson was going to go for it. That was strange.
You're right, and that's something where you want your center fielder, you want that aggressiveness, that guy to go out there especially, but it's tough, Ravi. You have a turf field, you miss that ball's going to the wall, especially because they were both converging on it. Nobody's there to back up. That's Kentucky's 3rd hit with 2 outs. That scores another run right there. 3 for 4 with 2 outs. To me, that's when games are won and lost. You get that big 2-out hit, especially a 2-out, 2-strike hit like we just saw. That's what's going to get it done.
And that was the issue for Kentucky coming into this game today. They had just 3 2-out hits in the series coming in. They were 3 for 9 with 2 outs, and then 3 for 4 today. So, such is the game of baseball.
And that's that 2-2 pitch right there for Plastiak. It was up, but after so many fastballs in a row, again, guys are going to get to it, especially if it's not in the mid to upper 90s. This fastball, Chris right here, is 88 to 90, and so he really needs that breaking ball that he just hasn't had this inning.
Kirk Liebert step in from the left-hand side and take ball 1 low. Liebert walked, scored a run on the grand slam from Rubalcaba in the first inning. Jacob Plastiak drove in the 5th run of the game with the RBI single. He's on first. Ryan Ritter over there at third. 2 gone here in the bottom of the 2nd. Here's Rubalcaba on deck.
Oh, you think he's wanting that? Hey, how about a 2-out walk right there? Give me another chance.
1-2, swung on and miss. Great pitch at 88 for Nolan Crisp. Kentucky tacks on another one here. We head to the 3rd inning here. Kentucky Florida State, a rivalry for the ages. The 2 rivals last met on April 13, 2021. Game went to extra innings, tied at 2. Kendrick Kalilau hit that solo home run to left. It was the Gators' 12th win in the last 14 games versus the Seminoles. So exciting stuff. After 2 years, the annual Florida State baseball game in Jacksonville is back. SEC Network, ESPN app Tuesday night. Seminoles and Gators are having terrific years so far this season.
Yeah, that's one of those series you'd like to see on the weekend right before conference starts, but I understand why Coach O'Sullivan says, no, let's not do that. SEC is already tough enough, but man, 7 versus 8, and Florida's offense has a lot of power this year.
Kentucky's offense has flexed their muscles here. 5 runs through 2 innings. Buddy Floyd's got speed. And just in time, nice play by Felker over there at second to get rid of that quick.
Next up for the Bulldogs, setting number 44, Ben Anderson.
Back to the top of the order for Georgia, and Ben Anderson, who led off the game with a single. Made it to second, but that was all for Georgia in the first inning. He swings through a fastball for strike 1.
Man, Ravi, it just comes down to getting hit, man. 9 for 10 first pitch strikes right here by Tyler Bosma. Again, especially with the lead, you got to be able to pitch with the lead, and that starts with just getting fastball, strike 1 over the plate. Because most of the time now, you got these hitters now starting to press a little bit, knowing that, hey, they got to do some stuff, and they squeezing the bat a little bit harder. And so get strike 1, helps you out so much, opens up both sides of the plate. Also, multiple pitches you can use from there.
Good pitch there from Bosma. Transferred in from Miami of Ohio. Made 34 appearances there, 19 starts for the Red Hawks. Only lasted 2 2/3 against Arkansas last weekend. Allowed a home run there. Went 45 pitches.
Look at him get that 2-strike approach, widen out, just trying to shorten everything up. I like that. You don't see many guys do that anymore. Used to think everybody. I mean, I was taught when you were in Little League all the way up. You get 2 strikes, hey, choke up is all you'd hear. Now you widen out. Now guys just take hacks. It doesn't really matter. But you can see a little old school approach right here by Anderson.
3 balls, 2 strikes, and an off-speed pitch caught him on the elbow. So Anderson hit by pitch, now on base for the second time today.
Now stepping to the plate, the shortstop number 28, Josh McAllister.
And here's Josh McAllister now. Struck out back in the first. Still 3 for 7 in the series, and he takes a strike once again. First pitch strike for Bosma has been on point.
Like you see right there, a little Evo Shield mask, man. He bunted a ball off his face. One of the midweek games, I believe, and that's tough. And so you got a situation now, you got to look through, something he's not used to seeing, when he's at the plate, not having that mask in front of him, trying to pick up spin and all that. Hitting's tough. You start getting things close to your eyesight, it makes it a little bit tougher.
Takes a ball outside. It's one of those players that Coach Strickland was talking about that, and we talk a lot about players who just love the game of baseball. McAllister fits that mold. The coach wasn't even sure if he was going to make this team when he arrived. Transferred in from Florida Southwestern State before coming to Athens. And he has turned into one of the most productive players who have ever worn the Georgia uniform.
Yeah, I love the fact one of the things he said was plays angry. And I told him, I said, Coach, wouldn't you love to just say that about everybody? You just don't have that many guys anymore that play the game angry, like everybody's trying to take it from them.
Why is that? Why do you think more players don't play angry anymore?
I don't know. I think a lot of the showcase ball has come into play, and the travel ball and all. You always hear daddy ball, things like that. I mean, guys, just because you play so many games now in the summer leagues, you're like, hey, lose, you got another one. I mean, it used to be when we were growing up, man, you had, 16 games in your regular season, and, you lost. It was like, man, you had to wait 4 more days. And, that just stirred you up a little bit. I hate the fact that if it rained, man, you sit out there and you're looking out the window wanting to play, and you're like, oh, is it going to rain all day, Mom? But that's just the kids these days. I mean, you know, I went to a travel ball tournament yesterday, and you got guys playing 3 to 5 games in a day. Like, you know, win, lose, especially when it comes to pool play. You're like, lose, that's all right. We're just a little bit lower seed. We can still win the tournament. So I think winning is just not as important anymore. You know, it's more of how you do. And so, but I think right here, buddy, this is one of those old school gritty players. And like he said, he talked about it when he saw his first appearance in the cage. He swung and missed it like 10 straight balls, and he was like, uh-oh, what did I do?
Callister pops one up, foul territory, and that'll get out of play.
And Coach Strickland talks about that story, saying like he saw 10 in a row off the machine that, you know, guys usually swing a couple and then they foul a couple and then they lock in. And he said after like 10 in a row, he's like, what did I do? And then he talked to McAllister about it now. They can joke about it. He goes, Coach, I was thinking after the first one, like, well, at least I got to wear the uniform once. He said, so that's the part of the guys that you want to play, a guy that just loves every part of the Georgia uniform.
9th pitch of the at-bat. Ritter steps on second over to first. Unassisted double play. Well, Jonathan Cannon, likely first-round pick, picked up his 5th win on Friday. We'll talk to him on the other side of the break. All right, to the bottom of the third we go. We're joined by Jonathan Cannon, starting pitcher, winning pitcher in Game 1 of this series, and off to such a great start this year. Jonathan, thanks for joining us. We want to talk about your starts and your overall career at Georgia, but specifically this year. What have you been feeling? What have you been thinking? What's your preparation like going into a start this year with, by the way, only 1 walk?
Yeah, you know what? I think I've just learned so much and learned from guys that came before me. We've had a great track of starting pitchers here at the University of Georgia, and just kind of gathering so much information from them. I've been able to apply it over the last 2 years, and I feel like it's starting to all come together for me this year.
Well, Jonathan, what has been the biggest difference? Like, what's your biggest adjustment you made from last year? Because the ERA was in the 4s, now it's in, you know, the 1s, and take away 1 start, bro, we'd be in the low. What's been the biggest adjustment?
Yeah, I mean, I think the biggest adjustment for me has been the mental side of the game, and that was really a big point of emphasis for me this offseason, was really getting good at my routines in between starts and my routines when I'm in the game, and really trying to stay focused on executing 1 pitch at a time, and I feel like I've been able to do a good job of that so far.
Well, who's been the biggest help with that and teaching you that routine?
Yeah, I've actually been working with a mental performance coach for the last couple months. His name's Brian Kane, and I credit a lot of my success so far this season to him. And just looking at a lot of guys in the big leagues that have really put an emphasis on mental performance, listening to guys like Corbin Burns talk about how much it impacts their career really in his start. And I know he credits a lot of his turnaround in his career to the mental side of things. So I think that mental training has been huge for me, and I can definitely see a difference, just not in baseball, but just in my life in general.
Well, that's awesome right there. I mean, you got to love that. Baseball is such a mental game, and having to deal with it. About to watch a little bit of the video from what you did. I mean, we're talking about 150-something innings in your career, 17 walks. What makes you so special to not walk hitters? I know this stuff's good, but still, I've seen a lot of guys with good stuff walk guys. How do you do it?
I think I would say that I have the most trust in my defense, maybe more than anyone in the country. My defense plays so good behind me, and I know that if they make a mistake behind me, they're not going to make it twice. So I'm pitching to contact. I'm going to make those guys hit it, and I just take it 1 pitch at a time, because I know 3-2, 3-1, I'm not going to back down. I want to throw my pitch. I don't want to just lay a fastball in there. So I'm going to throw my pitch and try and execute it. And just taking things 1 pitch at a time, that's been the biggest difference for me, is not trying to look at the start as a whole, but just going 1 pitch at a time.
So that one fouled off by Jace Felker. Rubalcaba struck out. We're joined by Jonathan Cannon here, Friday guy for the Georgia Bulldogs. I know that you are a very personable guy. You love your team. You're a big team guy, and you came back this year and told Coach, look, you know, if I don't go where I want to go, I'm coming back. And you did. What is it about this team? As Felker lines one out to right center field, this will drop and get over the wall. And Felker into second. So what is it about your decision to come back and also about this specific team?
Yeah, I knew going into the draft last year that it was really up in the air where I was going to go. I had an up and down year, started off sick, and just a lot of things didn't go my way, and it was tough for me. But I knew going into the draft that I was going to be very particular about what I wanted and where I was going to go. And when that kind of point came and went, called Coach Strickland, and I was like, I'm going to come back. And I knew that we had a lot of guys coming back, guys like the Tate twins, McAllister, Chaney Rogers, and Ben Anderson that decided to come back. And I knew that we'd have a really good team, be able to make a run. And we've done really good this season. Hopefully we can come back and get the series win today and just keep rolling.
Talk a lot about Georgia being a football school. How, can you explain to someone who's never been to a Georgia football game or an SEC football game what that's like?
It's an awesome atmosphere, and I know as a recruit, that's where they take you. They take you on the field in Sanford Stadium. That's just a surreal experience, and just to watch football and go to football games, it's such a big part of our culture, especially at the University of Georgia winning the national championship this year. That was just such a fun season to be a part of as a fan and as a student, and going to all the games and watching the national championship and kind of celebrating that win with everyone. It just means so much to us.
So Fogle grounds out. That moves the runner up to third. And Kentucky threatening once again here. John Thrasher swings and misses at the first pitch. What's the ceiling for this Georgia team this year? With you at the helm, I mean, you talked about a lot of the guys coming back. Talk about the culture of this team and what it's been like to be on a team that has, top to bottom graduate, fifth-year senior guys.
I think one of the biggest things that I really enjoy about this team is how close we are. Outside of baseball, we're always together, we're always hanging out, and I don't know if I've been closer with a group of guys than the guys on this team. And being that we have graduates in fifth years, some of these guys have been together for the last 5 years. So just some of the great friendships that we've all formed together, and we're going to stay together through thick and thin. And whichever way it goes, we're going to be there for each other.
Jonathan Cannon, best of luck. Thanks for taking the time. We appreciate it.
Yep, thank you.
That's Jonathan Cannon. They appreciate him taking the time as Kentucky's on top of Georgia 5-0 here. Look at our guy out here in the outfield. Enjoying the hill out there. Trying to slide down. It's not quite like the Williamsport Hill, Lance, but I think it'll come close for these youngsters watching a day of baseball.
Hey, in his mind right now, that's the best place on earth right now. He is having some fun.
All right, so on getaway day here, Kentucky with a 5-0 lead over Georgia. Bulldogs took game 1 4-2. Kentucky won in come-behind fashion yesterday 10-8. And they lead here 5-0 after the grand slam from Alonzo Rubalcaba, the catcher right there in the first inning of the game.
Good breaking ball right there by Tyler Bozema. That's something that he's mixed in the fastball. He spotted it well, set up the hitters, and now as he's getting to the second part of the lineup, going to show some breaking balls.
Bounced up off Rubalcaba. Coming up next on the SEC Network, Lance Cormier's Alabama Crimson Tide take on Mississippi State. I don't want to say it's been a demoralizing series, but it has been difficult with all of the walk-offs going on down there against Alabama this weekend.
Yeah, you're right. Alabama's had 2 opportunities to not only just win the games, but also to win the series. It has gotten walked off both times, so the Mississippi State and that Duty Noble magic's working.
Collins goes down, swinging second strikeout of the afternoon. Yeah, so Lance, here you go. You got Alabama Pro Day coming up Wednesday afternoon right here on the SEC Network and the ESPN app. Offensive lineman Evan Neal, linebacker Christian Harris, cornerback Josh Jobe. Just some of the top players to look for, showing off their skills. NFL Scouts going to be in town. Front office personnel. Coverage begins at 1 Eastern, noon Central here on the SEC Network.
Yeah, that was tough hearing Jonathan Cannon talk about the football season for Georgia. That was a tough season. Good season, but still, anytime you don't win the national championship and lose to a rival, it's never fun.
Here's Connor Tate. Fights off the 0-2 there. How about Mississippi State? Winning the national championship last year, of course, you lose players like every team does, but they have proven to be not invincible this year. And they have, lost the series to this Georgia team last weekend. Alabama almost got them.
Yeah, it looks like just a point where it's almost like playing just enough, whether it's good enough or bad enough to lose games. I mean, they lost 11-0 on Friday to Cannon. Then it's a 12-11 back-and-forth ball game. Then they win 20-3. So overall, technically, they outscored Georgia in that series.
Right.
Then Bama comes into town. I mean, when you're down two of your best pitchers, especially Landon Sims, which is a guy who really – it's more of a leader, man. You can't even say like it's emotional leader. It's on the field leadership. It's in the dugout leadership. It's in the clubhouse. I mean, he's a guy that's just so fun to watch. I mean, when you don't have him and you're having to deal with that, learning how to do that. They've been down both games, but still the offense able to fight back. I mean, it just shows you that up and down the league, the parity. You're going to see a lot of teams all throughout the year just keep going back and forth.
Excellent play out there and left by Kirk Liebert with a diving catch for the second out.
Yeah, that's just looks like off the end of the bat. Struck good, but man, full extension, Liebert. That's just selling out right there. You missed that. That's a guaranteed double, possibly triple. But that's what you do right there.
Yeah, Kirk Liebert has kind of picked up the slack a little bit for Kentucky. Normally, you will see Araj Anu out there. He is injured with a broken hamate bone. So Kirk Liebert has filled in quite nicely for Kentucky. The base hit for Corey Acton with 2 outs.
That's just been the story for me, especially in the SEC, just with injuries and injuries to guys like whether it's the top 2 pitchers, whether it's your main position players. It's going to come down to be who doesn't have to deal with those injuries. Right now, Tennessee, they're a team that they're still dealing with them, but that depth there, they have enough and shown. But everybody else is having to deal with those, and it just shows you that you got to be able to recruit. You got to be able to put that lineup from the roster from 1 to 30. You got to fill it with good depth.
Yeah, Tony Vitello's squad out to an undefeated start in SEC play, looking to sweep Ole Miss today. And you got to imagine, with the way that Tennessee has played this weekend, they could move to the #1 spot.
Oh, I absolutely agree. I thought last week, because Ole Miss goes #1, then they lose to Southeastern, then they win the series, but go 2-2 with the #1, ranking. I thought, especially Tennessee was 18-1 at one point. I was like, man, I thought they would jump into it, but they kept them at 5. But you think if no matter what, they go in there, they're showing that they definitely are the best team in the country. And it's not just hitting. I mean, the pitching staff is doing an unbelievable job, especially Chase Burns on Friday night, the freshman.
Yeah, he's been terrific. Parks Harbor grounds out to second.
17 punch-outs. Going to be a tough left-on-left matchup. See, he drops down from the side, and that's just anytime you have that left-on-left matchup and the left-hander's throwing a little bit across his body, a little bit from the side, it just feels like that ball's coming from behind your hip and your shoulders, and then all of a sudden getting into the strike zone.
A little off-speed wiffle ball in there for strike 2 to Jump, who has been on base twice today.
Boy, Ravi, he was one of those guys. Last Sunday they had to go out there and wear it. You always have those, guys on the roster. You have to do it. 8 runs in an inning and a third against Mississippi State last week.
Jump pokes the bat out there for a base hit. Third base hit of the day.
Next up, for the Wildcats, the third baseman, number 12, Chase Easton.
We mentioned all that stuff with Tennessee and how good they're doing. the staff is good as well. They battled some injuries too. I mean, they're out. Blade Tidwell, Seth Halverson, but those guys still haven't pitched yet. So just shows you that you got to be able to recruit. Again, next man up mentality is always there, but sometimes you just don't have those guys, those next men to step up like Tennessee has so far.
We've already seen parity here in weekend 2 of SEC play. South Carolina taking down Vanderbilt. Chase Estep walked in his first at bat. Grounded into a fielder's choice in the second. Scott jump on first, looking for more runs here. Ground ball to the right side, foul up the first baseline. This Wildcats team, Lance, hasn't made it to the NCAA tournament since that 2017 season. That was Mingione's first season as the head coach. For Kentucky, it's got to start in SEC play, you think. I mean, 2021, last year, they were 12-18. Of course, didn't play in 2020. 2019, they won 7 SEC games. 2018, they won 13.
Yeah, and it comes down to, I mean, that's what the tough part about it is when you have success early on in your career, you know, and you inherit somebody else's roster, and then you have to try to remake over your roster, and you have the success early, then the fans are like, wait up, first year you did it, why can't you keep doing it? But then you still have to find your guys, but you're right. COVID really put a hit to a lot of teams that were building that momentum and all of a sudden lost it.
This ball's driven out to right, and it's out of here. Chase Estep leaves the yard. His 8th home run of the season. The career year continues for the junior out of Corbin, Kentucky.
Well, that's a big step right here for Kentucky, and especially for Estep. Left-on-left matchup in conference, trying to be able to hit the ball and get it on average, trying to raise that up average. And look at that. Sometimes you don't have to. Sometimes it's better be lucky than good, right? Off the top of the wall, goes in. A lot of times that ball can fall back over, but hits that yellow line and goes over.
I don't think that ball got 20 feet off the ground. I throw that home run chain on. Alonzo Rubalcaba had to cough it up after his grand slam.
I mean, like the first couple of years when Coach Mingione was there, I mean, you heard about the Batcats and the lineup and just constantly producing runs, and so that's the kind of makeup they really got to get back to, and it's just going to come down to, you know, just getting consistent production up and down the lineup. You know, when you have too many holes in the lineup, it's really tough because then pitchers can start pitching around certain guys, and once they get into that, they can start just kind of relaxing and settling in, and then all of a sudden, all right, I got the top 3 guys, I got to really work hard now. And so if you have guys that when you're having to work really hard against the 8-hole and the 9-hole, that's what makes it tough for a pitcher.
Chase Estep getting some hugs in the dugout after knocking his 8th home run of the season to lead this team. Jacob Plastiak batting from the right-hand side now. Lance, Chase had 1 home run in his first 2 seasons in 52 games for the Wildcats. He's got 8 now through his first 24-plus games this season alone.
Hey, change the diet, change the workout habits, right? Get in the weight room. I mean, especially spring training right now, these are the stories you always hear, best shape of your life, and a lot of it's cliche, but it really is, you know, effective when you can make it happen. You can really change just your whole life process, and that's exactly what he did. So you're seeing a lot of good results from it.
And so Colin Caldwell has entered. He's allowed the single, the home run to E-Step. Now walk to Plastiak. It is 7-0 Kentucky. Here's Kirk Liebert. And time is called at the plate. That's the right-hander Will Pearson up in the pen for Georgia.
Yeah, you see Gonzalez going out there. That's exactly what he's doing, is giving him some time to get loose. You know, that's when you see the catcher kind of looking around like, Coach told me to come out here. I don't really know what to say. I'm just going to talk to you, and we're going to stay here until the umpire comes get me. You know it as a pitcher, too. You know that stall tactic, and it's like,
that can't be a good feeling, right, Lance?
No, it's not. Like I said, sometimes he had to wear it last week against Mississippi State, 8 runs in inning the third. Hadn't started off real well for him this weekend. It happens, man, and just you got to be able to get out your team because you can't overuse guys, and so sometimes you just got to stay out there and keep pumping.
So Kirk Liebert made an excellent play out in left field. He's also a catcher, by the way, so that was a catcher making that defensive play out in left. Nice stop back there by the catcher Gonzalez.
I think that's one, for me, has been one of the biggest changes in the game is the athletic catcher. You're starting to see more guys that they're not just back there to catch and throw. They can run, they can move, they're very athletic, and they even, nowadays you got to be able to swing the bat too. I mean, it used to be catching, hey, as long as you can catch and throw and you called a good game, you're okay. Not anymore. Yeah, look at that. That doesn't look like a catcher, Sam.
Looks like an outfielder to me.
Look, a little snow cone. I saw a ball at the very tip of that glove. A little snow cone, too.
Eliminate. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Let's go.
Caldwell with the 1-1. And called strike right at the belt to Kirk Liebert. Baseball family. Dad George was drafted by the Royals in the 89 draft. Cousin Alan drafted by the Tigers in the 85 draft. Played 8 seasons of Pro Bowl. Played for the Kenosha Kingfish of the Northwoods League this past summer. Was named the All-Star team. Hit .322. Chases one down the zone. Nice pitch for Caldwell.
Yeah, that's a good way to answer back right there. Again, right now for Georgia, you're just trying to get out. So you're trying to get, 7 runs, we talked about it. Team scored, Mississippi State scored 19 unanswered against Georgia. Not saying that's going to happen, but you always got to believe, look, if one team could do it to us, we can do it to another team. So trying to get back into the dugout, get your lineup going, because there's still a lot of at-bats left.
Just in the bottom of the 4th inning here, 2 gone. Plastiak on first, and the catcher Alonzo Rubalcaba kind of blew the game open in the first with a grand slam, his 3rd home run of the year, and he takes the ball outside. Caldwell with the 1-0. That's in there for a called strike. Here's a look at that grand slam. Sat back on that one, LC. He was waiting for that pitch. And he found it, exploded over the left field wall. Good series for Rubalcaba here this weekend. Came into the game 3 for 8. Had that grand slam, struck out his last at bat.
Yeah, what he did is put himself in a good position. Malier was falling behind a lot of the Kentucky hitters early on, and when he fell behind 1-0, and boy, he grooved that fastball. It's a career high 4 RBIs for him. So you're right, great series, and gotta love it.
Two, 1. Good pitch. And on the hands to Rubalcaba, and evens the count 2-2. Caldwell trying to get out of the inning, get Georgia back up at the plate. Georgia's number 17 in the rankings this week. A huge series win against Mississippi State last weekend. Now on the road. 2-2. Rubalcaba wanted another one. Skies that one foul out of play.
We got to think, Rabbi, they're trying to keep pace with Tennessee, Vanderbilt, Florida in the East. I mean, you got some powers at the top of the East leaderboard. Tennessee 5-0, looking to go 6-0. Vanderbilt series already over. They're 4-2, and you mentioned Florida trying to win that series against LSU. So you can't. You know this game is pivotal to try to stay in that second place tie.
Ole Miss has been great in the West. There's a lot of questions and probably some disappointment in Baton Rouge for this LSU team, the way they have started this year. There's always high expectations there, and it's just been a struggle. Two-two, and Rubalcaba fights one off to right field. It will drop in front of Cheney Rogers. All the way from first to third goes Plastiak, a solid at bat for Rubalcaba.
That's 2 balls off the bat that you think that the outfielders are going to get to it, and they're just maybe not seeing it off the bat or just off the end of the bat. Just pokes it out there. You see, he just throws his hands. Didn't even really finish his swing. I don't know if these Bulldog outfielders are getting bad jumps, but it seems like, man, I think off the bat looks like it's up enough to be able to make that play, but another 2-out hit. That's 4 already for the Wildcats.
Chase Felker, the second baseman now, with runners on the corners. And he grounds one foul. It almost looks like the second time we've seen that there's just hesitation or a fear. If that ball gets by you, it's going to jump all the way to the wall with that turf field here.
I think I'd agree with you right there. I think that's the problem.
Three hits in the inning for Kentucky. Chase Estep with a 2-run home run earlier here in the fourth. Felker just pokes at that one, fouls it back. Felker a single and a double. 2 for 2 today. Bit of a run here, outscored Georgia 14-2 since that third inning of yesterday's game. think that's part of what makes baseball so great, Lance, is especially college game, professional game. You play series, so you can have an ace like Jonathan Cannon, but you've got to be able to win a couple of games to win a series.
Right, you're exactly right, and a lot of it, the lineup has just been Georgia's staff. I mean, 6 walks last game. And how we got today just in the line of walks. I mean, Kentucky's got 4 walks. I mean, it's already got 4 walks. You had 6 yesterday, 4 today. Georgia scored their runs. 6 of those runs in that one inning were unearned. All 6. They had a 2-out error, and so take away that, and it's been, for the most part, all Kentucky outside of Jonathan Cannon.
So a strikeout there for Caldwell, his second of the afternoon. Darren Williams will talk to us on the other side of the break. Got the start in yesterday's game. Stick around. Kentucky. Have you always been a fan of the University of Kentucky growing up, or is that not the case?
Oh, absolutely. Diehard basketball and football fan growing up. Honestly, wasn't much of a didn't know much about college baseball. Didn't follow it too much. Big Cincinnati Reds guy. But huge basketball and football fan. Darius Miller, who won the national championship with the 2012 team. Idiots. Darius Miller, who was a basketball player on the 2012 national championship team, went to my high school from Maysville, so it's a big thing for me.
Well, you said you were pro before you got on the headsets with us. You got the gum. That was the first obstacle, so we handled that. We'll see what comes next. Maybe it'll be the sunflower seeds. But talk about this team a little bit. You guys brought in 8 transfers to this team this year. What's the culture like? And I know coming from different schools, that can be sometimes a difficult adjustment. Has it been for you, or has that not been the case?
Man, it's been great. It's insane how much energy this group has. It's fun to come to practice every day, even if it's freezing cold, and that's what you want from a culture standpoint. You know, we got a lot of older guys from these different schools that have, been in leadership roles and thrown in right into the fire. You got me, myself, and Tyler Bosma and Tyler Guilfoyle, all from different, schools that are upperclassmen that have been through the entire season before many times. And then you got young guys who just fill the whole dugout with energy. You see these videos on Twitter, attaboy Boz. You see all these videos on Twitter and Instagram of the idiots in the dugout. We're having a great time, and it's a testament to the young guys, the freshmen and sophomores, who just enjoy showing up at the ballpark and playing, and getting rowdy.
Well, Darren, I want to talk about your success so far this year. 22 and 2/3 innings, only 1 run. What has been working for you so far this year?
Just going at it with a good mindset, I think. You have yesterday where you give up 6 unearned and make a play, Jace, out of Babe. Just filling the zone with 4 different pitches, knowing my role, whether that be closing games out, long relief games, starting now. It's just have that mindset, always be hungry, and not being susceptible to thinking I know everything, or, just because I had a good season last season or had a good outing last week doesn't mean anything. I got to, recover right, got to go in the weight room right, and treat the next game like it's my last.
All right, well, you have 8 appearances, 7 out of the pen, 1 game starting. Would you want to be in that starting rotation next weekend?
I would. I think that's the plan for sure going forward. Doing it last year, my job's to make quality starts, and, going forward, myself and Boz and, whatever we go with next Friday with stuff going down, we got to know that. Just play our role, give our guys in the back end a chance. You've seen how Tyler Guilfoyle's thrown the last few weeks. It's unbelievable. Sean Harney's still there. We have an amazing back into the bullpen. So get the ball to those guys with the lead, and the Cats will be just fine.
Darren, I know you got the specs going when you're out there.
There we go, Bob. That a babe.
You channel any Joe Kelly at all with those specs or no?
JC Step wanted to say hi right here. Yeah, a little bit. I guess wearing the specs, and you've seen how Joe Kelly throws. I got to be a psychopath at sometimes, right?
That's right.
All right, he says sinker, slider. He comes in, sinker. Next pitch, slider. lot of times sinker guys are going to have the hits are going to be a little bit higher just because, down in the zone you're going to see some balls chopped through the infield. But Pearson's looking to keep these runners off and just kind of put up zeros.
So Adam Fogel, John Thrasher, the 8-9 batters for Kentucky, the only two players in the lineup today to have not reached base so far. Off speed, up in the zone. 3 balls and a strike. There's John Thrasher. Ton of speed with Thrasher. Look, if you got a name like John Thrasher, you better be fast. And he certainly is.
Got to be a great pitch. Right down the middle. Good. Good.
Called strike.
Got to be a great pitch. Let's go.
I think Georgia knew it was going to be a bullpen day, Lance. I'm not so sure that they thought they would be using maybe, 7, 8 pitchers as this ball's lined back up the middle by Fogel. So now 8 of the 9 Kentucky players in the lineup have reached base. It's now up to Thrasher here in the 9-hole.
Yeah, and this is the beauty of having a 7-0 lead for the Kentucky hitters. I mean, when a guy goes 3-2, it's most likely going to be the fastball. You don't want to be walking, especially the leadoff hitter. So Fogel knew he was going to get the fastball and did exactly what he wanted with it, shoot it right up the middle. But you're right. I don't think Coach Strickland wanted to be able to have to use the whole bullpen. I think is what he said. We're going to, it's going to come down to some of the bullpen arms, but not the whole bullpen.
Right. Thrasher squared to bunt. Thrasher from Ridgefield, Connecticut. Went to the University of Hartford. The America East Player of the Year last year. Lays down the bunt, slips out of the box. Down to get it. Pearson underhand toss to first in time to get the speedy Thrasher. John had 37 stolen bases last year, which ranked 3rd in the country. Almost beat out that infield bunt. Up to second goes Fogel.
Sam, you want to see how important runs are, especially to Coach Mingione on a Sunday. That's 7-0. And he's laying down the sack punt to get another guy in the scoring position. He just knows. I mean, it can get away, and a lot of times, especially with the wind blowing out from left to right, it can get away pretty quickly. And so he thinks that's important enough to bunt his leadoff guy over.
And again, with the scores that we've seen around college baseball this year, no lead is safe. And I think Georgia themselves have proven to be a come-from-behind team this year. Pick off back to second. Gets away for a moment from McAllister, able to recover, but Georgia came from behind. They trailed 6-1 yesterday. And that wasn't enough for Kentucky, albeit that was early in the game. Hunter jumped 3 singles today. Good pitch on the inner half.
Not in a hurry to come out of there. Let's go. Stay on. Not in a hurry to come out of the
Top 3 Kentucky hitters are 4 for 7 today with a home run, 2 RBIs, and 5 of the 7 runs scored. Right back to Pearson. Got him in a rundown here. Fogel tagged out. Heads up play by Pearson there to get the lead runner.
Nice play by Pearson. Looks exactly what you got at you, behind you. He sees it at him, behind him. Pearson makes a nice play. And right there, instead of giving it up, he runs at him, makes him make the decision, and then just a one toss. That's a perfect rundown right there. See, look at him. Run right at him, make him make the decision, and then a one throw rundown. Well done, Pearson.
So 2 gone now for Chase Estep, who homered in his last at bat. 2-run shot. They hit right off the top of the tape out in right field. And bounced over the wall, 1 for 2 today. Now 8 homers on the year for Estep.
Go.
28 home runs on the year for Kentucky as a whole offensively. (2-0). Lined out to right field once again. This time one hops off the wall. Cheney Rogers will haul it in. And up to third goes Hunter Jump. So after the home run, a double now for Estep.
He's starting to heat up in conference play. Again, ball just too much middle part of the plate right there. Estep leaves the bat in the zone. Long time right there. And look at it, rocket off his bat for another double. He thought he was going to get an RBI, but held up that runner at third base. Again, though, now 5 for 9 with 2 outs. The Wildcat lineup.
So Estep has been on base at least all 4 times. Wasn't on for too long after the home run, but
he did get to touch them all at least.
He did get to touch them all. Second and third for Ryan Ritter. Ritter has 4 home runs on the year. The off speed up in the zone. Oh for 2 today with a walk for Ritter. 1 for 6 in the series. Ground ball towards third base, a high chopper. How about it? Buddy Floyd tagged him out. Heads up play again. First start for Buddy Floyd. He's made a couple of good plays over there. Georgia looking to get the bats going.
Lexington, look at Tyler Bosma quietly with a 3-hitter going right now. Breaking ball has been really, really good, staying away from those lefties, and then sometimes you got to trust the defense. Pitcher's best friend, he's got 2 of them. Look how smooth Mr. Ritter.
So he'll face the top of the order, and Ben Anderson has retired 4 in a row. Anderson grounds one to the right side. That gets through at least to Felker, enough for Anderson to beat it out. His second hit of the day.
Nice job by Anderson. I mean, that's just continuing to fight. This is the part of, the game where you're not wanting to give at bats away, because first off, you start giving at bats away, that's how slumps start to come. They come quick too. But right there, Ben Anderson, we talked to him, we highlighted him. They need more Ben Anderson in this lineup, and right there, 2 hits, a hit by pitch, been on base all 3 times.
As McAllister fouls one back. Ben Anderson has really kind of been the difference for this team this year. He hit just .206 for the season last year. Came in today with a .367 batting average, and he was the leadoff hitter last year. So when you set the table with a guy who doesn't get on base a whole lot, you're not going to score a ton of runs. Ben Anderson has been getting on base a whole heck of a lot. In fact, just about half the times that he steps up to the plate, he reaches base. McAllister 0 for 2, chases one up in the zone at 85. All right, well, again, after 2 years, annual Florida State baseball game in Jacksonville is back. It's on the SEC Network and the ESPN app Tuesday night. Number 7 Seminoles and the number 8 Gators squaring off 7 Eastern. Florida's won 12 of the last 14 against Florida State. top 10 battle in the Sunshine State. That'll be a good one. Meat of this Georgia order has really struggled against Bosma here today.
Yeah, you're right, Sam. Giving up once you let Ben Anderson on, you got the next three guys 0 for 7. That's how you know you got a guy on, but you really tighten up, and that's exactly what he's done.
Been two different stories written here today on the mound. Georgia unable to get a full inning out of their starter, and Bosma has impressed. 5 strikeouts in what is now the longest outing of the year at 5 1/3. Corey Collins 0 for 2 today. Struck out in his last at bat. Grounds one the other way. Ritter to second, over to first, in time for the double play. Third double play turned by Kentucky's defense here today, and they are cruising with a 7-0 lead. A couple of headlines around the game of college baseball this weekend. Kurt Wilson, talk about have yourself a weekend. The walk-off stolen base of home that everybody saw, especially on Twitter, made its rounds. And then Saturday, walk-off grand slam for Texas Tech over number 2 Texas. Josh Hatcher at Kennesaw State hit for the cycle. And Virginia off to another solid year this year. Kind of on the bubble last year, but made a late push. Jake Geloff is crushing the ball in Charlottesville. 13 home runs on the year for him. We just saw a dog there bark in the park earlier today, and the kids are enjoying this. How about you go down backwards?
Oh, no shot. No shot. I'm not in for that one. I'll go down 4, but this guy is going to get up dizzy.
Yeah, that'll make you sick. Not a care in the world, though. That's okay. Bottom of the 6th, new pitcher on. Davis Ricos. And his first pitch misses low.
Well, we saw Josh Hatcher, former Mississippi State transfer from Kennesaw State, getting it done. This is another Mississippi State transfer. Again, fastball's 88 to 91, little slider, little changeup. Going to be a long relief guy, and so right now you're looking. He might be. Georgia's been going inning to inning. He might be a guy that might be able to stretch it out multiple innings.
It's Plastiak, Liebert, Rubalcaba here in the 6th. And 2-2 out of play.
Sometimes this long relief role is one of the toughest ones to do, just because, especially when your team's down 7 and the hot lineup, the Cats 11 hits already, and you're expected to come in throwing strikes, and the lineup's up there grabbing a bat and taking gangster hacks at them, and so it's just hard. You got to be able to go there, but you got to keep the ball down.
How about that? You stretch a base hit into a double there for Plastiak. Georgia a little bit slow in the outfield to get to that ball.
We mentioned it, like you said, it's almost like the confidence of not wanting to go get those balls, the ones that are in the air, and then just kind of slowly go and get this one and just nonchalant. But that's hustle out of the box right here. Plastiak going, and he's wanting. He sees it's just enough and rounds to first base and takes it on.
So a single, a double, and a walk for Plastiak. And he finds himself in scoring position yet again here with nobody out. And Kirk Liebert will step in. He has struck out the last 2 times. He has come up, squares to bunt, to move the runner over, gets it down. Foul ball, though.
Well, I know, runs are at a premium, especially in these games, but a drag bunt like that, now we're in the bottom of the 6th. I don't know how that's going to keep playing.
I've gotten it done with a long ball. Pair of home runs today. Grand slam from Alonzo Rubalcaba in the first, 2-run shot for Chase Estep in the 4th. Runners in scoring position, 2 for 11 though. Squares early once again. Fouls it up the third baseline this time. Liebert, also a junior college player. They played 2 seasons at Wabash Valley in Illinois. Oh, 2. Got him. Called strike 3. All right, well, next Saturday afternoon, our featured softball game, a top 20 matchup, number 18 Auburn hosting number 6 Florida at Jane B. Moore Field. Our coverage of the second game of this big 3-game series begins 3 Eastern, 2 Central right here on the SEC Network. And, of course, you can watch on the ESPN app. Here's Alonzo Rubalcaba. Rubalcaba, another one of those players, so many for Kentucky that began their collegiate careers elsewhere. Played 2 seasons at Santa Barbara City College before coming to Kentucky. Brother plays at Cal State Northridge. Played and then now spending some time in the Angels organization. Someone's got a great voice over there in the Kentucky dugout. Check swing.
I think that was a fan that just kept it going. It was one of those ones I wanted to see. I wanted the pitcher just to hold it to see how long he could hang on.
One, 2. Grounded. Nice stop by McAllister. Long throw to first. Not in time. What a play just to glove that ball for McAllister.
You're right, Ravi. I'm thinking, hey, you lay out, save a run. That looks like that's tipped off of Tate's glove right there, and he goes backhand. But not just lay out, save a run, almost got himself an out. That's the beauty of that turf, too. Use the turf, get that long hop going to the first baseman.
So Kentucky had 14 hits in the first 2 games of the series. They have 13 hits through 5 1/3 innings in this game. Chance to tack on more runs here. First and third, 1 out. Chase Felker 2 for 3. Nice day for him. Single and a double. Big hack there. And 1-1.
Yeah, check that out. It was Floyd playing at third base. Gave a little ricochet assist to McAllister. You mentioned he's made some good plays. To me, that was a heads-up play that last inning, just tagging the runner. If Georgia were to make a comeback that last inning in the fifth, Kentucky had a couple bad base running errors. Might cost them some runs. Hopefully it doesn't cost them in the end.
So Felker squared to bunt there, pulled it back. 2 balls and a strike. Got Rubalcaba, the catcher, at first. Plastiak at third. A 1-4 start for Kentucky in SEC play this year. Another bunt, and another ball.
This is kind of shocking. I just haven't seen enough from Georgia to really show that they're even going to, put together any kind of offense to make a comeback. I know the saying is, every team will make a run at you, but right now, Tyler Bosma has been so good. The Kentucky lineup has been good, but man, squaring around this many times, I don't know.
3-1. Ground ball back up the middle. That gets through into center field. Plastiak will score. Holding up at second is Rubalcaba. And the runs and the hits keep on coming for the Wildcats.
Like you said, top of the lineup's doing it. So is the middle part right here. Rubalcaba and Felker. 6 for 8 in the 6 and 7 hole. Just shooting it up the middle. Get you a little RBI right there.
So, look, I think Kentucky was hoping to get off to a good start this year in SEC play. Won 3 of their 10 SEC series last year. They were bounced by Florida in the first round of the SEC tournament. There's a line drive into left field off the bat of Fogle. Being waved around is Rubalcaba. He will slide in safe and make it 9-0 Kentucky. That's 3 hits in a row.
Well, Sam, what you were saying, if they win this game, you're obviously 2-4 after 6. But when you open up the conference, season on the road at Arkansas, and Sunday was a 3-1 game, yours a chance. But for the most part, you're not going there to win the series. You were hoping to get one. You didn't get one, but still. So if you look back after 6 games and go, hey, we're 2-4, just won an East Conference showdown a little bit against Georgia, I think you still take it because that's a tough road, especially to open up in Ball and Walker Stadium.
John Thrasher now at the bottom of the order. So, yeah, you start on the road against Arkansas, number 3 at the time. Get swept there. You have Georgia here. Unfortunately, you have Ole Miss waiting for you next weekend. Then you get A&M, Missouri, Vanderbilt, Florida, Tennessee, and you finish with South Carolina. Or, excuse me, Auburn. South Carolina, then Auburn.
Well, yeah, I mean, you talk about, hey, there's no easy weekends. There's no weekends you look and go, hey, put that one as a W. But for Coach Mingione, like he said, he goes, every single year we've opened up on the road in conference. And he goes, sometimes, that's just really hard. And a lot of that probably has to do with the weather. I mean, even the second weekend of the season, you're seeing weather that you really don't want to play baseball in. But still, it's hard. Sometimes you want to be able to open up at home.
Ball gets away from Gonzalez behind home plate in the wild pitch. Davis Rocos. Trying to limit the damage here in the bottom of the 6th. 3-0 count to the 9-hole hitter, John Thrasher, who has not been on base yet, the only player for Kentucky. And now it is complete. All 9 have reached base for the Wildcats.
And now batting for Kentucky with the bases of Cats, the designated hitter number 10, Hunter.
Roll it back to the top of the order in Hunter Jump. Kentucky set out a goal the last couple of years and this year to get the big inning. that they quote as the biggie box. It's defined as any inning where the Cats put up 4 runs or more on the scoreboard. They did it in the first inning here, and potential to do it here in the 6th again.
The biggie box. I mean, you're always trying to put up crooked numbers, but boy, you can put up those 4, 5, and 6 spots. That usually win you a ball game.
And Hunter Jump takes low in the zone. Felker on third, Adam Fogel on second, and the ever so speedy John Thrasher over at first. (2-0). Ground ball to the right side. Diving stop by Parks Harbor. Tags first. That'll be all they get. Run will score. And Jace Felker. So Kentucky into double digits now with 10 runs. But nice play over there by Parks Harbor.
Yeah, you're right. That play saves a lot more runs, especially 2 outs. You see those guys moving. So again, still in the game, still playing hard right there for your boys. See him tag the bag, thinking he had a chance, but no chance to go home.
Chase Estep, still a chance to do some more damage with 2 outs. And he takes low. Talk about Jonathan Cannon, what he did in game 1 of this series. 7 innings, 2 earned, struck out 6. Of course, didn't walk anybody. Rest of the staff, 15 2/3, and 20 runs, Lance.
Yeah, and that's 11 walks. So like you said, Cannon didn't walk anybody. That's it. So that's back-to-back weekends. Cannon goes 8 and then 7. No walks in his 15 innings. And then the 2 games against Mississippi State, Georgia Bulldogs staff walked 23 or 22. That's a lot in those 2 games. 13 on Sunday, and then again 11 in these last 2 games as well. That's just not getting it done from the rest of the guys. Sometimes you got to help. You got to be able to follow the lead of Cannon. Obviously, not everybody has his stuff, but
right.
They know they need more.
Coach Strickland said you can't teach experience, and that is what Jonathan Cannon has in spades, but it hasn't always been easy. I mean, last year, many will remember, it came down with mono, did Cannon, at the beginning of the season, along with COVID. He was on a pitch count for his first 4 outings. Still ended up throwing 63 in the 3rd innings, but there has been a big change, and I think just the ability to be healthy is can't be underscored enough.
Oh, I mean, if he stays healthy the rest of this year, I mean, that's a guy that's going to be a 100-plus inning guy. I mean, you're trying to sit back, especially what you've seen Saturday and Sunday. I got to get 7 to 8 innings out of him, to be able to have any kind of bullets for the next 2 days. And sometimes that's tough, too, because then as a coach, you're like, you probably should go to the bullpen, but you don't want to waste the bullpen. You ride the guy a little bit too long, and so sometimes that puts him in a bad situation as well.
Estep, the 3-2, line foul up the first base side.
But then again, with a guy with his kind of stuff, I think you just trust him. Almost where he lets you know, okay, I'm ready to come out.
Right. Five 2-out hits today, 5 RBIs for Kentucky. Payoff. That's low, ball 4, bases loaded. Once again for Kentucky. Another visit to the mound. That will be it. Jack Gowan, or excuse me, not Jack Gowan, that's Coleman Willis coming in for Georgia. A right-hander will relieve. We talked to Darren Williams a couple of innings ago, and he said this dugout looks to have a good time. Makes it a lot easier when you're up 10-0 though in the 6th inning though, Lance.
No, absolutely. Those 10 runs will help you relax a little bit. It also lets Coach Mingione look the other way. I don't think that would be happening if it was a tight ball game, but hey, you got to love when the kids are having some fun.
So Coleman Willis will be the 6th pitcher used by Georgia here today. And one of those pitchers down there that doesn't have a ton of experience this year, but with some of the injuries to this Bulldog staff, I think some of the younger players and some of those pitchers maybe at the back of the bullpen might be pushed towards the front of it.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, that's when you get guys, you find out what you have, and so go ahead and get out there. He's got a couple starts under his belt, but, you know, there's nothing like conference innings, and when you get a chance to go out there, you know, no matter what the score is, you know, for you, it's just an opportunity to show you that Coach Strickland, every time he calls your name, he can trust you.
Bases loaded for Ryan Ritter. Ritter 0 for 3 today, but did reach on a walk. Ninth hitter up in the inning. And Ritter launches one out to right center field. This ball will get down in the gap and bounce high off the wall. Fogle will score. Thrasher coming in all the way up to third base, sliding it headfirst safe is Ryan Ritter. A bases clearing triple for the stud shortstop for Kentucky.
Right here, Ryan Ritter says, I want to get in the hit column. Takes that breaking ball, 0-2 breaking ball. Got to be able to bounce that thing. He shows what he does, keeps his shoulder in on that ball, drives it into right center field gap, and he uses that speed. Bases clearing triple.
Second triple of the year for Ritter. And another biggie box for the Wildcats as they've put up 6 now in this frame. Bring up Plastiak, who started out this inning with a double. 2 for 3 today. A called strike at the knees. We talk more about this Georgia pitching staff. Again, you start with Cannon, but you also have a guy, Jaden Woods, who we haven't even mentioned in this broadcast. He has been solid this year and was expected to be a big part of kind of that go-to arm out of the bullpen. So he's healthy, but nonetheless, injuries have kind of plagued this team last year. Struggle with some this year again.
Yeah, you're talking. It's tough when you have injuries early in the season because, for the most part, early in the season, you know, Dylan Ross, Will Childers, those guys were getting, you know, the ball. They were getting the opportunities. And then when you have guys that not necessarily had the opportunity, you know, they might be able to do it, but just don't know yet because it's so early in the season. And then when those guys go down, your top guys go down, you don't know yet what you have. And so that's the time. I mean, you never want injuries, but sometimes it's a lot easier when they're toward the end of the season because you know throughout the year you've gone through those wars. You know who can get some outs for you.
Huge shift on now for Plastiak and another walk.
Now batting for Kentucky, the left fielder number 8, Kirk Liebert.
Kirk Liebert, who has struck out the last 3 times he's been up. 13-0. Kentucky won it yesterday, 10-8. Lost game 1, 4-2. 8 two-out RBIs today for the Wildcats. Two-out hitting has been spectacular, had not been coming into this game.
You know, Ravi, there's games like this that everybody's running to the bat rack, and there always seems to be the one guy, though, that just is like, it's not my turn to hit again. And right now you got Liebert. He's 0 for 3, 3 punch-outs, and it's like he's always seems like he's 0-2, 1-2. It just guys tend to carve one dude up, and that's it.
Called strike 2.
Again, another 1-2 count.
Yep. Today that guy's Kirk Liebert. Made an excellent play, though, in left field. Defensively.
He does have a walk. He's mixing a walk,
yeah,
at least, and he's got a run on the board.
1-2. Skies this one down the third baseline.
He's yelling, catch it, catch it. He's wanting to catch it. He'll take a rollover, anything. Always want to stay away from the golden sombrero.
Fights that one off towards short. And McAllister makes the catch. So did make the contact there, no strikeout. But it has been all Wildcats here. And Ryan Ritter with the bases clearing triple, his second of the year. And Kentucky up 13-0. All right, take a look at some of the out-of-town scores here today. We got you started here at noon Eastern time. That Tennessee Ole Miss battle will get underway. Actually, should be getting underway right about now. But that LSU score, Florida took it to them earlier this week.
Yeah, Florida's got a lot of issues, a lot like Georgia. Got a bona fide ace and Hunter Barco at the top, and then the back Saturday, Sunday, looking to find a starter there. It's gave up 16 yesterday, 11 today.
Yeah. It's good news for those folks down there in Baton Rouge to see the numbers on the board go up, light up. New pitcher for Kentucky. What a day it was for Tyler Bosma, though.
Yeah, just short of his career high. He had 6 1/3 innings in 2019. This time he goes 6, and a lot of it just throwing strikes. He had the 5 Ks, only 1 walk, but loved the defense. He had 3 inning double plays, and so a little economical, 85 pitches, got his work in, and that's what a good lineup will give you, especially when they're scoring some runs.
So it's Wyatt Hudipole, right-hander out of Mason, Ohio. So Connor Tate 0 for 2 today. We were talking in the break, Lance, about how they really miss Connor's twin, Cole. Has not played this entire series, out with an injury. Has not played since last Sunday. And, I mean, he's a leader of this team. He leads the team with .368 batting average. That's good for 15th in the conference. Led the team last season with 67 hits. Solidified kind of his role as the shortstop anchor of this team, and he is out and has been out this series.
Yeah, I mean, you're talking right there, like you just mentioned, a career almost .320 hitter, the shortstop, just basically kind of everything that you want your team to be, he models, and so when you don't have it, you're right, it's going to be tough.
Twins with the twin matching batting average. It's pretty cool. 319.
That is kind of cool.
Connor ropes one over to left field, bounces right up into Liebert, holds him to a single there. First hit of the day for Connor Tate. Just the 5th hit for Kentucky, or for Georgia, excuse me, on the afternoon. Yeah, that will help his batting average. Put him ahead of Cole. But yeah, there's no question that Coach Strickland's hoping to get Cole back soon. A quick meeting on the mound between Hudepohl and Rubalcaba.
Oh, you're seeing a visit right there. Hey, it's 13-0. Yeah, I know you don't want to give up hits, but you got to throw strikes. Can't fall behind 2-0 because that's when you will start giving up hits. You start letting the hitters know, hey, because then all of a sudden you go and like, I know this pitcher's coming fastball. He's not going to mix any kind of off-speed pitch when it's 2-0 or 3-1. So I like Rubalcaba going out there early, not letting it get too far out of hand.
Pretty cool story for Wyatt Hudepohl. Father served in the Air Force, now a pilot. Uncle Joe Hudepohl won 3 Olympic medals in swimming, including 2 gold medals during the 92 and 96 Olympics.
Yeah, that's a cool story.
Called strike 3. Way to come back after starting 2-0, and the meeting from Rubalcaba helped.
Yeah, mound visit. Give him credit right there again. Fastball just paints on the outside part of the plate. Sometimes you just got to settle down. Just a lot of times that catcher coming out there, and if he gives you the right stuff, man, gives you a little confidence. And pitchers, you got to be able to pitch with confidence. And sometimes we're very finicky when it comes to that. Pitchers, you lose it quick, you gain it quick.
Parks Harbor now takes ball too low. Always curious. Pitchers always talk about, having the feel for it, having a feel for a ball. Do you know, how soon do you know? Is it after the first pitch where you're like, yeah, I got it today, or I don't? Or does it take a couple pitches?
Well, I mean, sometimes you just know the way the ball's coming out. You can feel it sometimes just warming up. Like when I say warming up, like playing catch with the catcher, especially as a starter. But then again, there's always times where if you're very good in the bullpen before the start, you probably it's a lot of times you tend to relax on the mound and it doesn't go as well. When you're not real good in the bullpen, you're in your mind going, oh, this is going to be a struggle. I got to work. I got to fight. And that usually tends to be your better outings on the mound just because you're paying a little bit more attention and concentration. It just shows you how much concentration involves pitching. And so got to be able to do that. But still, when the fastball is jumping out of your hands. It's just a good feeling. A feeling I never really have. A feeling I never really had like these guys do now. These guys rearing back throwing 100 these days. It's got to be a good feeling.
Yeah, you look at that Tennessee pitching staff. I mean, they got guys that are cranking it up there north of 100.
Yeah, that's one of those. There's always some things that, like, in my career, I wish what it would feel like to dunk 10-foot goal, something like that. Just hit a home run, but also like just kick the leg and let it go, and it's read 100 on the scoreboard. That'd be pretty cool.
Harbor got under this one out to left field, looking up, and it's gone. 2-run home run for Parks Harbor. That's his 3rd home run of the year. Gets Georgia on the board here in the top of the 7th inning.
Get ahead, stay ahead, let's go. Here we go.
That's a nice shot right here by Harbor, breaking up the shutout. Gets a 3-2 fastball, belt high, middle part of the plate. Again, that's just not giving away at bats. You don't want to do that. Continue to keep pushing hard, and that'll set you up for your next at bats, whether it's this game or the next ones. You could hear, though, as he crossed the plate, one of the coaches from Kentucky's dugout yelled, "Get ahead, stay ahead."
This ball's also out to left field. Will stay in the park, though, for Liebert. And 2 gone off the bat of Cheney Rogers. Yeah, that was the 4th home run that Udapole has given up this year. Yeah, so pinch hitter here, Shane Marshall will grab a bat, the senior, coming to the spot for Fernando Gonzalez.
Shane Marshall.
Out of Naples, Florida. Just his 8th at bat of the season.
You know, tough part about being on the road. You don't have where you can go inside the tunnel and start, taking a couple swings, especially on a day like today, freezing cold. You've been sitting for almost 3 hours, and then all of a sudden, coach is like, "Hey, man, go grab a bat." And you're like, "Oh, okay." Hey, that's what you go to. Yeah. Get yourself a 2-0 swing.
So 13-2 here in the top of the 7th inning. Parks Harbor hit a 2-run home run to get Georgia on the board. High chopper back up the middle. Strong throw by Felker over to first. But not before Parks Harbor able to get Georgia and the bats going. Still trail 13-2 though, so we'll stretch it out, head to the bottom of the 7th. All right, we head to the bottom of the 7th inning. Kentucky trying to take the series here at home. Huge 6th inning today. 6 runs, 5 hits, a couple of extra base hits. Ryan Ritter with the bases loaded, bases clearing triple. Faced 47 pitches in that 6th inning.
Yeah, far off from the 15 you want to try to be per inning, right, as a pitcher? 47. That's long.
Yep, so Shane Marshall stays in. We'll do the catching. And Dwight Allen has also checked in center field for Ben Anderson. Alonzo Rubalcaba still in the game, 3 for 4 today. That grand slam all the way back in the first. Still Coleman Willis on the bump. 6 pitchers used for Georgia here today.
He's got everything you want from a pitcher. 6'7", 210. The freshman right here, I mean, that's the size you want. This is how you build it. Now it's just a matter of getting that experience.
High chopper back up the middle, charging McAllister, bobbled it a bit. Couldn't get a throw off.
Does a career day get a little bit better? You see right here, McAllister does a great job charging it. He has him, but yeah, on that transfer, just tries to get to the hand quick and drops the ball. Don't know what the hometown scoring is going to give him.
I'll give him an error.
Is that just not respecting the speed?
Yeah, that's exactly what that is. Just kind of sums up the day for Georgia. They've committed 3 errors in the field. Georgia pitching staff has yet to retire Kentucky in order in this game. Pitching staff has issued 7 walks. So that doesn't help. On top of that, Kentucky's bats have just kind of come alive here in this one. You said it, Lance. Sometimes you do just kind of run into the bat rack and.
All right, let's go. Come on, man. You're right ahead. Let's go. Come on.
Called strike there.
Maybe they had somebody wake up the bat rack. Used to have guys the lineup was kind of struggling with a guy named Adam Stern I played with in the Cape Cod League. Go out there and just dive around the bats. They'd set them all up. In minor leagues, they'd set up the bats. You know, you'd line them all up. You go get everybody's bat. And everybody's like, what is he doing? And he'd come from behind the dugout and just head first dive and tackle all the bats. And he's like, got to wake him up. And all of a sudden it happened one time and team started hitting. He had to wake up with the bats every game.
Hit the other way. McAllister able to keep it from going to the outfield. That sounds like a story or something that should be fresh out of a major league movie.
Oh, he would have been
the
a guy.
movie Major League. That is right out of that.
He's the guy that would have started in the Major League movie too. He's one of those hard-nosed grinder guys. It was awesome. But then everybody wants it. Hey, we had a bad inning. Wake up the bats. You're like, you can't just do it like that. It's got to be, you got to pick and choose your spots.
Here's Adam Fogel.
Nobody,
17 hits for Kentucky, 1 hit shy of a season high for the Wildcats here.
Good rhythm, good swing. Let's go. Come on. There you go. Ogle. Great pitch right here. On it right here. Come on, right on.
He's talking about having a short memory in the game of baseball. Georgia will roll it back over midweek game against Georgia Southern. They got Florida next weekend.
Ooh, watch out for those Saturday, Sunday games.
Yeah. You got South Carolina, Texas A&M, Alabama coming up as well.
Although that Friday game is going to be unbelievable. Barco versus Cannon.
Come on, folks.
Dugout's been a bit quiet, although it has filled up after 5 pitchers are in it now. Coleman Willis, the 6th pitcher used by the Dogs today.
I drive middle, right middle.
This ball is cranked out to left center field, and it will one hop up the top of the wall. Coming in to score is Rubalcaba Felker to follow. 2-run RBI double for Fogel. Marks the season high in hits, gets Kentucky to 15 runs. Wildcats continue to pile on.
Well, Rabbi, that's 10 hits from the 6, 7, and 8 spots right there. Fogel gets a 3-2 breaking ball. I would say fastball, no questions asked. He gets breaking ball, but he still crushes it into the gap. 2 RBIs. But when you get that kind of production from the bottom of the lineup, it lets you turn it over to get to the big boys at the top that you already talked about. That's winning baseball.
So now Fogel on second. Thrasher looking for his first hit of the game. Reached on a walk last time he was up. Ground ball. Thrasher's got speed. Nice play by Floyd. One gone here. This Georgia Bulldog team, it's not for a lack of experience. Welcome back 29 letter winners, including 8 starting position players and 13 pitchers who logged innings a year ago. Pinch hitter here, Ruben Church, sophomore from Tennessee, will step in and spot for Hunter Jump at the top of this lineup.
Ruben Church.
This is the 9th at bat this year for Church. 2 hits in the previous 8 at bats and 4 RBIs. Six pitches so far for Coleman Willis through 2/3 of an inning. Came in the 6th. And Kentucky rattled off 6 runs in the frame. Able to crank it up to 90 though for the freshman. And nobody up in the pen for Georgia as of now. But look, I think this has to be an area of concern. When it happens once last weekend against a team like Mississippi State, you can say, all right, pitchers had a bad day Sunday, but 2 weekends in a row, you really don't want this to become a trend, right, Lance, for Georgia on Sundays?
Right. Absolutely. I mean, you think about you gave up 11 on Saturday. You got the win because you scored 12. Then you give up 20. You take the loss. Yesterday they gave up 10 and now 15. So you got to be more than just the one-pitch guy with Cannon. I mean, obviously he gives you every bit a chance to win, but you got to be able to find something else.
Yeah, last 2 games.
That's getting it done.
Yeah. 25 runs, 32 hits.
When you're getting 13 walks, and right now we're at 7, plus you got 16 innings, 13 walks. That's just, that's almost a base runner per inning. Then you mix in the 32 hits, 2 hits per inning you're averaging, that's unbelievable, and that's how you're going to score. I mean, that's the consistent production you're wanting. That's all you want as a hitting coach. I mean, obviously, you talked about what do you call them, the biggie buckets or the big
biggie box,
buckets?
yes.
Yeah, the biggie box. You want those, but you'll take the ones. I mean, just consistent production, not giving easy outs, not 1, 2, 3, 4 innings, and then you put together some runs. No, you want to be, have guys on base every inning, and obviously left on base, that starts to happen if you don't get the big hits. But still, you want to see that consistent production. But this is not just consistent. This is truly getting it done, especially against a division foe.
So Ruben Church, in his pinch hit appearance, works a walk.
Guys, pick up Ruben.
Entering the game as a pinch runner at first base for Kentucky, number 4, Emilian Petre.
Emilian Petre will pinch run here for Ruben Church over at first.
Chase Eastep.
Chase Eastep.
Come on, Pete, get out there.
Long run out there. Will drop in fair territory. Bounce all the way into the alley. Fogel will score. And Petre all the way up to third base. Eastep to second.
Boy, when it's going good, it's just going good. On base 7 times. You see him just drop one in there. Yeah, I thought I could have had a little bit better effort right there by Tate. Seemed like that ball just took a weird hop, too, off the turf. I want to talk about help your on-base percentage. 7 for 7 on base. I guess Fielder's choice would go against it. So 6 for 7, but still he scored a run on that one. 4 runs scored.
When it rains, it pours. And Ryan Ritter will step up. Ball gets away back there from Marshall. Run will score. 18 runs, season high for Kentucky. It was 17. Yep, was 16, now 17. Season high in runs for the Wildcats. Ritter out to left.
SEC appearance so far.
Buddy Floyd 0 for 2 today with a strikeout. Getting his first start of the season here today. Well, look, I don't know if there's been a lot to really cheer about in Lexington the last couple of weeks with the men's basketball team. You know, you lose to St. Peter's. That's tough. The women's basketball team upset by Princeton in the first round of the NCAA tournament. Buddy Floyd out to center field. So hopefully the baseball team can attract some of those fans and give them some of the cheer about. Yeah, so Strickland, there he is, the makeshift headset, got the gum out. That's pretty creative. I mean, we've seen some creative stuff. That's taking it to the next level.
The microphone was really good.
By the way, Darren Williams is a pro. Right? I mean, he was excellent.
The fact that he even told us, don't worry, guys, I'm a pro, and then he lived up to it.
Had the shades on. He was chilling after his start yesterday.
Well, you mentioned Kentucky. I mean, I just heard over the PA, the softball team won at Auburn. I think they took that series 2-3, and that's an 18th ranked softball team. So getting it done on the diamond on the other side.
First at bat for Dwight Allen. .21 ABs for Allen this season. Redshirt freshman out of Milton, Georgia. Some power out there to left center. That'll drop for a base hit. Cut off by Thrasher. All the way up to third goes Floyd. Wow, so that's their first back-to-back hits the entire day, LC.
Yeah, that's the tough part about it. They got a couple hits, and then all of a sudden, some weak ground balls, and Kentucky was able to turn some double plays for Bosma, especially he got to the point where he got 3 inning double plays. And so, you know, you always hear rally killers, and that's exactly what they were. But you got to like to see the guys coming off the bench. Allen was a defensive replacement. Coach Strickland talks about best defensive outfielder they have, showing himself a little, get some knocks at the plate.
Bring up McAllister, 0 for 3, grounded into a double play and struck out twice. Swings through a fastball there from Strickland.
You know, you're talking about Darren Williams was being a pro, and you mentioned the Joe Kelly. That was kind of as we were going off. I'm looking at his profile in the media guide. Man, it is. I think you're spot on with the Joe Kelly.
Yeah.
I don't know if now he wishes he had Joe Kelly's fastball, but
right.
Everybody clap your hands.
Oh, 2-2 McAllister. Foul tipped at the plate.
I can tell you a teaching moment for Coach Mingione, though, with Strickland. If this outing doesn't go very well, you could always bring that back. You'll see the interview and be like, hey, I love you having fun, but there's parts of the game where you got to be locked in, and especially being long game like this, you don't know. You don't want that mind to leave, but playing around is fun, but I want you to go out there and get outs.
Shallow center field, Thrasher. That will bounce in front of him. Coming in to score is Buddy Floyd, and Georgia gets their third run of the game off an RBI single for McAllister, so that's 3 hits in a row. Look, it'll take a monument to come back come back in this game, Lance, but everybody has these types of games in the college game and even into the pros. The best of the best, can have a day like this. What do you take away for especially some of the younger players from a game like this?
Well, first off, you're seeing a lot of younger players get in the game, but it also shows that, hey, like, it can go wrong quick, and that's just how fast it can happen, and you got to be ready to play. I mean, so when Kentucky scores 4 in the first inning, that's a teaching moment for Bryce Malier, is to be able to show him, like, hey, you got to come out of the bullpen ready to go.
That's Cole Wagner coming in with a pinch hit single and an RBI, so a couple of runs coming in here on the top of the 8th for Georgia.
But that's something John Smoltz would always talk about. Like, hey, if they get me, they usually get me the first inning. And it's like, well, how do we do? What do we do to combat that? And it's like, I'm going to throw a little bit more in the bullpen. So you got to learn your stuff. Darren Williams was talking about learning his body and the workout routine and trying to do that. And so was Cannon, like the mental coach, all those things. Those games, all that stuff happens, but sometimes you just got to be a little bit more prepared mentally and concentrate a little bit more. But that's what Smoltz would say. He goes, I'm just going to throw a full inning. So I want a hitter in there. I want you to call pitches, and so that way he's like, all right, now it's the second inning. Whether he played a game in his mind mentally or his body felt like it was because he threw that one inning. It worked for him a little bit too.
Yeah, I'd say so. That's probably a pretty good career. Yeah. Still nobody out here in the top of the 8th. Georgia has brought 2 across. Connor Tate 1 for 3 today with a run scored. And still, Georgia's been able to get a couple of hits. Now double digits, 10 hits. 3 errors in the field defensively has not helped, and also the walks. Four of the 10 hits, though, coming here in the top of the 8th inning.
Yeah, and that's where stats, when you look at the overall game stats, is a little misleading, especially like, oh, man, well, the offense was there. No, it really wasn't until this inning. They didn't really have any. It's almost like the team couldn't put together anything to really muster up just any kind of momentum.
Tyler Bosma got the start for Kentucky in this one. He was terrific. 6 innings, 4 hits. Now Austin Strickland. 2-2. That's a good off-speed pitch there. Got Connor Tate to chase for his first strikeout.
You really need starting pitching to set the tone. And Tyler Bosma went out there firing strikes. I think he got ahead of every single hitter except 2. And so that's where it starts. And if you don't get good starting pitching, and the lineup is not there, it's just going to be tough. And that's what we've seen with Georgia.
Corey Acton. One for 2 today with a single and a walk. He's also struck out in his last at bat. Runners on the corners for Georgia here. That ball is bounced in front of Rubalcaba. It seems like a day ago since Rubalcaba hit a grand slam in the first inning of this game to really get it going.
I'm surprised to see him still.
Yeah, it's a long day.
Yeah.
Acton chases 92. Up and away. A couple of home runs. Saw Estep hit one out of the park in the 4th. Parks Harbor for Georgia hit 2 runs shot. Here's Acton out to center field. 2 outs. And coming in to score is McAllister for the 5th run of the game for Georgia.
A good AB right there. Not giving away an at-bat and get yourself an RBI.
All right, well, it's been 2 years since the annual Florida State baseball game. It is back in Jacksonville this year on the SEC Network and the ESPN app. Tuesday night, number 7 Seminoles taking on the number 8 Gators. First pitch, 7 Eastern. Florida's won 12 of the last 14 against FSU.
Finish right here, 4-9. Come on.
Parks Harbor, big hack at that, fouled it back into the net. Misses low, 2-1. Kind of talking about the Georgia offense and how they produce runs. The start of this year is kind of similar to last year. Not a ton of extra base hits, not a ton of RBIs. They ranked 11th last season in the SEC in runs scored. Ranked 9th this season. They ranked 12th last year in RBIs. They ranked 9th this season. 12th in doubles last season in the SEC, 13th in doubles this year. So you know, you kind of have to piece together your offense, play a little small ball, and I think Coach Strickland's okay with that. As Harbor strikes out, and Strickland ends the top of the 8th. Georgia able to get 3 on the board here in this frame. They still trail 18-5. All right, bottom of the 8th inning we go here at Kentucky Proud Park in Lexington, Kentucky. Lance Cormier, Sam Ravitch on hand with you here. New pitcher on the bump. 7th pitcher of the afternoon for Georgia, Chandler Marsh, freshman from Wellington, Florida. 1-0 record this year and a 3.12 ERA in 8 2/3 innings.
He's got some good stuff, boy. 90 to 94 on the fastball, a little split, little changeup. Future closer, they feel like just big physical presence.
Kirk Liebert will start it off here in the bottom of the 8th inning, 0 for 4 today. Whereas everyone else around him has been seeing a beach ball. It's been a bit tougher for Liebert. Off speed and a 1-2. But you're right, Lance, just always seems to be an 0-2, 1-2 count.
It's, again, I'm telling you, he's wanting this game to end as much as anybody, just to not have to keep going up to the plate.
So Marsh makes quick work of Liebert there. 1 gone here in the bottom of the 8th.
Look at him as he's walking off, still doing his job, letting the next guy know what's coming.
Nolan McCarthy will pinch hit here, the freshman from Kalamazoo, Michigan. 20th at bat this year, has 4 hits. 8 RBIs and a home run.
Now pitching for the Wildcats, number 19, Nolan McCarthy.
There we go.
7 pitchers now have been used, and Georgia still in search of their first 1-2-3 inning here in this game. Ground ball hit hard towards third. Floyd up with it across the diamond. Harbor scoops it out. 2 gone. Along with
I've seen so far from Holly. Sorry about that.
No, you're absolutely right.
Stays with it. Makes a nice strong throw. And watch Harbor right here. Uses that turf. He backs away from it. Makes that pick a little bit easier.
Chase Felker now. Yeah, so I was just saying, along with those 8 transfers, 4 Wildcats opted to use their extra year of eligibility this season. Sean Harney, a pitcher. Daniel Harper. Line drive out to right for Felker. 5th hit of the day. Sometimes you're just seeing it.
You're exactly right about that. Got the average up. 448 now.
And now batting for Kentucky, the right fielder, number 55.
I think he earned himself another start.
I think that's about right. Adam Fogel now with 2 outs. I didn't really see it a ton here in this game, but Wildcats and Coach Mingione love to steal bases. Last year, Cats stole 78 bases on 86 attempts. That was a 90.7 success rate. So something to keep an eye on for this Kentucky team down the stretch of this season. One of the reasons why he brought in a guy like John Thrasher at the bottom of this order. .93 right there, and on the hands of Fogel.
I can see what they mean by future closer. It means the guy that comes in, comes right at you, and just attacking the zone. Just a little development.
He's got 11 strikeouts and 9 in the third. 6 walks, though. And a called strike 3. So good outing for Chandler Marsh. Last ups for Georgia as we head to the top of the 9th inning here at Lexington.
Defensively for Kentucky is staying in the game. Left fielder 19 over McCarthy. Doing catcher Ray Kirklinger.
Try and close this one out. His Wildcats out ahead 18-5. Second at bat. Kind of talked about the takeaways for Georgia. What do you take away from Kentucky here? Obviously, you come away with a series victory and a much needed one at that. But, how do you carry that on, carry that momentum into the next weekend?
Well, obviously the lineup, I mean, you can take that on there, but I really want to go to the starting pitcher. I mean, you got a really quality start, 6 innings, no runs from Bosma. And so that's something that I feel like I can take on, especially the way Williams and Guilfoyle pitched yesterday. If you can get something on Friday night, man, then you're looking at that's what the makeup of a weekend is made of.
Zach Lee missing up and away, 3 balls, 2 strikes. And a strikeout for Lee. 2 down now. Final out of this one.
The next batter is
It was 13-0 at one point in this game. Kentucky continued to pile on. Georgia able to get 2 runs in the 7th, 3 in the 8th. Not enough against Kentucky here today. Buddy Floyd rolls one over to first. Glastiak underhand.